watching SLU News 22. I'm Maggie Sevchek.
And I'm Priscilla Lichty. Kareem Johnson is on assignment.
The national airline quality ratings are to be announced tomorrow. The report will be released at 8:30 Monday morning during a news conference at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. The report will rank airlines based on arrival times, denied boardings, and customer complaints. Headed by SLU researcher Brent Bowen and Dean Headley of Wichita State University, the duo have compiled opinion surveys of other 5,000 frequent travelers and data from the U.S. Department of Transportation to rank 17 airlines. At the press conference, Bowen and Hadley will detail the airline industry's dramatic turn in 2008 and passenger concerns. The 2009 airline quality ratings will be available at www.aqr.aero tomorrow.
St. Louis University is vying to be St. Louis's best place to work. SLU is the only educational institution listed as the finalist in the St. Louis Business Journal rankings. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch has recently named SLU one of the region's top employers and was mentioned in the St. Louis Magazine as the great place to work. The winners will be announced on April 16th and be published in the magazine on April 17th.
Chief Meteorologist David Keller joins us now with a first look at the forecast. David, what's these cold temperatures I'm hearing about for Cardinals opening day?
Well, Cardinals opening day does look rather chilly. Winter refuses to give up its hold on the area. However, this afternoon we did have some very spring-like temperatures. Late this afternoon it was 63 degrees here in St. Louis, but you can see the cold air beginning to spill into northwest Missouri where it is currently 34 degrees. We'll talk more about these cold temperatures and a storm system coming up later in the week in the full forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, David, we look forward to seeing them. Atlas Week isn't quite over yet. The final events of Atlas Week will be on Monday, April 6th. NPR's Scott Simon will give a lecture on the politics of greed and hope in the College Church Xavier Grand Ballroom on the lower level at 7:30 p.m. as part of the James C. Millstone lecture series. In the BSC in room 251 at 8 p.m., there will be a lecture, The St. Louis City of Refuge, by Jerry Chaput, an urban project specialist with an University Christian Fellow Group, which will discuss why St. Louis is one of the leading relocation cities in the United States for displaced peoples. A panel of men and women will share these stories of their turmoil in their homeland and what led them to relocate to St. Louis.
In local news, 3 men aged 23, 25, and 26 are in critical condition today after being shot on Saturday morning in the 3800 block of Botanical on the city's south side, according to the St. Louis Metropolitan Police. Around 2:20 a.m., 5 men wearing black or white hoods fired many shots at the victims. The gunmen have not been located by the police.
A firefighter paramedic has filed suit against 3 fire departments and firefighters who responded to a fire with her. Cindy Shunke was severely burned in a fire in North County in March of 2006 when she was injured while searching for the mother of a fellow firefighter in a burning house in Vinta Terrace. She has filed suit in St. Louis County Circuit Court last week. The suit alleges that fire chiefs have failed to train personnel properly handling such situations, and these firefighters made mistakes after mistake.
A store employee that reported a shoplifter at South County Mall was attacked the following day at work, according to St. Louis County Police. The father of the suspect allegedly held down the 20-year-old female working on Saturday afternoon, while another woman kicked and punched her, reports the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The victim, which declined medical treatment, suffered a cut-up, bruises, and scrapes to her elbows and legs. According to the police, it all started on Friday night when the employee spotted a 17-year-old girl taking a necklace from a jewelry boutique inside the mall, where the suspect was caught and the merchandise was recovered. The following day, a woman stormed in and threw the victim to the ground and punched her. The female suspect is being sought by police.
There is an outcry in Jefferson City over state pension fund managers being rewarded over $300,000 while the state lost billions. The investment portfolio held by the Missouri State Employees Retirement System plummeted by nearly $1.8 billion despite the declines. Chief Investment Officer Rick Dahl took home $114,000 and $29,400 to the hedge fund manager, the bonuses were paid because the fund did better than the market, even though it declined 23.9% in 2008. The retirement system known as Moser's covers about 55,000 state employees and 30,000 retirees, reports the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
National and world news is next. Stay with us.
Welcome back. In national news, a fight in Pittsburgh over a urinating dog results in the ambush of 2 police officers, the death of another officer, and a 4-hour siege. Saturday, an argument between Margaret and Richard Pulowski escalated to police involvement when an argument over the dog urinating in the house became an issue. Police responded to the home and eventually required that the SWAT team be there, with 4-hour standoff and a gun battle between Richard Pulowski and police. Pulowski is charged with 3 counts of criminal homicide and 9 counts of attempted homicide, reports the American Press.
The Associated Press is also reporting that emergency officials' response to the attack at the American Civic Association in Binghamton, New York, would not have saved any more lives even if it had been there quicker. The first 911 call came in at 10:30 a.m. However, police didn't enter the building for 45 more minutes. 41-year-old Jiverly Wong killed 13 people on Friday. Medical examiners have concluded that the victims' injuries were so severe they could not have survived.
In international news, even as President Obama has pledged a new development aid that he has warned is not a blank check, a Pakistani suicide bomber kills 22 in a mosque in Islamabad. The bomber killed 22 people in an attack on a Shiite mosque in Chakwal, where 1,000 people were assembled. A Taliban group has taken responsibility for the bombing.
The United Nations Security Council has begun a closed-door meeting on North Korea's long-range rocket launch. The United States ambassador to the United Nations has told reporters that it offered an opportunity to secure agreement on the, quote, strong collective action, end quote, to respond to what Washington, Japan, and the European Union view as a, quote, provocative act. North Korea launched a 3-stage Taepodong-2 missile with an estimated range of 4,100 miles on Sunday in violation of the Security Council Resolution 1718 passed in 2006.
In business news, Fritz Henderson, the incoming chief of General Motors, has not ruled out GM filing for bankruptcy. Henderson has 55 days to present the White House with a new plan to save the automaker. The Treasury Secretary, Timothy Geithner, has assured the American public that GM will be part of the country's future, but the managed bankruptcy is one of that will best suit the company. Henderson, with a salary of $1.3 million after pay cuts, needs to make changes, including obtaining huge financial concessions from the bondholders and workers if the company is to receive any additional federal aid that it has requested. The company has received $13.4 billion from the government and is requesting up to $16.6 billion more, says the New York Times.
AT&T and unions are working past strike deadlines to reach a new deadline, the Associated Press is reporting. Line workers' contracts expired on 11/59 on Saturday night, but workers are continuing to work under the old agreements. The union said several of its districts have filed charges with the National Labor Relations, accusing AT&T of refusing to provide information on the cost of benefits and other issues necessary to resolve outstanding issues.
In health news, the FDA is warning consumers to stop eating all foods containing pistachios during a current salmonella investigation. Sutton Farms is recalling more than 1 million pounds of nuts on the suspicion of salmonella contamination. The California-based plant has been temporarily shut down due to the fact that they are the second largest pistachio processor in the nation, shipping to 36 wholesales across the country. The number of illnesses have been reported are 0.
St. Louis has the largest rates of gonorrhea and chlamydia in the nation. Due to this startling statistic, Planned Parenthood of St. Louis has decided to take action and is spearheading efforts to lower the rates of sexually transmitted diseases in Missouri. The organization will offer free or low-cost STD and HIV tests throughout April, free to those 25 and under, and at a low cost to those 25 and older. Planned Parenthood is also launching a program called Real Life, Real Talk, which aims to help parents better communicate with their teens about sex.
We'll be right back.